Hey guys, it's me Zoe. Welcome back to my channel. There's hair in my mouth. And today I have a story time video for you all. I made a sort of story time video in the past where I talked about my serving experience at the restaurant Olive Garden, and today I thought I would come back with another serving story for you. I'm not currently at Olive Garden. I'm at a totally new restaurant that I've been with for almost 3 years. I am bartending a lot more than I am serving. I absolutely love bartending, just like I love serving, except maybe even a little bit more. I've learned so much so far just about like the chemistry of making drinks and just all in all the bar atmosphere and how to interact with people up at the bar. It's so much different than serving people at tables. I've noticed that people who come up to the bar want to talk more, or sometimes it's the exact opposite. I feel like there is no in between. Either people come up to the bar to talk to you, or they really just want to talk to the person they're with, or just read a book or be on their laptop or just not talk to you at all. So it's never really in between. It's either one or the other, and I just find it really interesting how different it is from serving tables. That all said, bartending is still definitely a lot of work. And then where I work, I'm not only making drinks for all of my bar guests and for all of the restaurant, I'm also taking to-go orders, and I also like make crepes. We do a bunch of desserts at my restaurant. It's a lot going on, but at the end of the day, it's totally worth it. So that is where my story begins. This literally happened to me last week. My bar had started to slow down a little bit. I had a woman come into the bar, and she stood at the bar and was looking down at the menu and hadn't sat down or anything. So in my head, I just assumed, oh, she's probably getting a to-go order, because that's normally the vibes I get from people when they don't make themselves comfortable right off the bat. So I greeted her and asked her if it was her first time at the restaurant, and she said no, that she had been to a different location. So I said, awesome. Are we getting a to-go order today? She said, no, I'm on my lunch break, but I am in a bit of a rush, so I want to get something quick. It's like, okay, awesome, we can definitely do that for you. So I started to go through a couple of things that would be fast on the menu to make, so that way she could get something, eat, and leave and get back to work in time. And then she asked me about one of the breads we use for one of our sandwiches and what sandwiches that bread goes on. So I went through all of the sandwiches that bread went on, and she said, you know what, I think I'm actually in the mood for like a chicken sandwich. So I went through all of the deli chicken sandwiches that would be super quick to make, keeping in mind that she's in a rush, so I don't want to recommend something that's going to take more than like 10 minutes. And then she said, no, I don't really think I'm in the mood for a sandwich. I think I might be in the mood for a salad. So then I went through my favorite salads, and then I went through all of the salads that are really fast to make, keeping in mind that she's in a rush, and I made sure to say that several times, like, this salad would be good, takes no time to make, it's delicious. And then she said, you know what, I don't think I'm in the mood for a salad. She literally was not liking anything I recommended. Every single thing I brought to the table, any sandwich, any salad, any other thing I recommended, didn't seem to fit what she was looking for. I finally said, well, I don't really know what else to recommend you right now, so I'm just gonna leave you with the menu. If you have any questions, feel free to ask, but take your time. This is verbatim what she said. You know, this is awful service I'm getting from you. This is completely awful. I feel rushed right now. I feel like you want me to leave. I responded, I of course don't want you to leave. I definitely want you to get something to eat, something that you'll enjoy. I just know that you said you were in a rush. So I was looking at things that would be quick for you to eat, so that way you can get back to work in time. I don't want to recommend you something with a lot going on and a lot of protein that we have to make that would take an extra long amount of time and you not be able to eat. You get what I'm saying? And she did not understand, and she said, you know, this is just really awful service and I'm just not appreciating it. I kind of feel like I should go. And then I said, well, I feel like I did everything I could to help you. I did try. I was just trying to recommend some things for you. I did not mean to come off that way at all. I'm really sorry that you took it that way. I'm not going to force you to stay here, but I really do want to get you something to eat. Is there anything else I could do for you? Are you sure that you don't want anything? She said, no, I really, this is really, really awful service. And she just kept repeating that this was awful service, awful service. And I just kind of felt hopeless at a certain point. Like, I've recommended all these things. I've asked what else I could do for her. I I've recommended things, nothing seems to be working for you. Then she just started to interrupt me as I was responding to her. So it almost seemed like she came in with the intention to just have a fit. Sometimes I can get that vibe from a guest when they come in with that sort of attitude, and I can normally wheel around it and get them something that they like and have them leave happy, but this lady did not seem to want to go that route today. She cut me off as I was apologizing and said, you know, I went to your other location and I had a bowl of soup there and there was a piece of metal in it, and I complained about it and I almost sued them. It's like, oh wow. And she said, yeah, I almost sued them. And you know what? This is really starting to feel like a situation again where I might need to call corporate. And then I responded, ma'am, I'm going to stop you there. I have done everything in my power to help you today. You are leaving me no other option to help you. I'm sorry that you don't think my service was up to par and enough for you. I can guarantee you I never give bad service and was not intentionally trying to give you bad service. I'm sorry you took it that way. But I'm going to stop you there, and I'm going to refuse to serve you today because you are beginning to threaten me, and I really don't appreciate that because I have tried to help you to the best of my ability today. So I'm refusing to serve you. You're more than welcome to stay, but I will not be helping you for the rest of your visit. And she was silent and didn't say anything, and I went and helped another guest who started to come in, and I got her a glass of wine and came back over to my little computer where the first lady was at, and she said, you know what, what's your manager's name? I need to talk to a manager. And I replied, I will gladly get you a manager, ma'am, but that is the last thing I'm doing for you today. I will be right back with a manager for you. I went and grabbed my manager and went about what I was doing. Didn't want to cause any drama or cause a scene or anything like that. I just let my manager handle it. And my manager came and talked to the lady. The lady literally told my manager 3 times back to back her story from the other location with the soup. She literally back to back told her 3 times. What my manager then relayed to me after the lady had left was that she said that I was attempting to force her out of the restaurant and that I would not serve her and that I was just trying to make her leave. I would never, ever, ever try to do that to someone, even if they are the most annoying, outrageous person in the entire world. I would never force somebody to leave. I'm just not going to serve you if I can't help you and you're going to threaten me. So my manager had given her free food and the lady left, and I said goodbye to her even though I didn't want to. I said it as nicely as I could. And the next day we get a call from one of the co-owners. The lady had called the other location where she had gotten the soup from and complained about our location. She complained about me and my manager, who gave her free food and patiently listened to her whole story and said that we were the worst service she's ever had. And when the co-owner called our restaurant, he said, this lady's called us before and has given the same story several times. Do not worry about it. He also threw in that Zoe's awesome and she gets compliments all the time. I have no idea why this woman would think anything less of Zoe because we have gotten constant compliments from her. So to hear that from my managers and from the co-owner was really awesome and relieving and refreshing, because even if someone is annoying, like I said before, ultimately I want people to leave happy. I want everyone to just eat good food, leave happy, feel like they got great service. I don't care who you are, I give the same service to every single person. It just sucked that that lady wanted to create that situation that day, and I did try my absolute best. But the reason why I'm telling the story today is because when other employees in the restaurant heard about the situation that happened with me and the guest, they were dumbfounded and they were like, I never would have thought to not serve her or something. I probably would have blown up. I didn't know you could not serve somebody. Never knew that that was an option. And that is what I want to stress to people, is that in customer service, you have the right to refuse service. There are a lot of little lines in that can get a little sticky, but ultimately, you just have to be a rational person. Obviously, you do not want to refuse service to a person just because of their race, their religion, ethnicity, or anything like that. Obviously, that wouldn't be an appropriate example to refuse service. And that's why refusing service has such a stipulation around it these days. There can be prejudiced people out there. But obviously if a person is threatening you or causing a huge commotion, obviously that would be a more appropriate situation to refuse service. And my situation was a pretty good example of a situation where you could refuse service to a person. I felt disrespected and threatened. Definitely not as bad as my situation at Olive Garden. I will link that video up here if you want to hear about my crazy story. That's definitely one of the worst guest experiences I have ever had. That was way worse. But when it comes down to it, servers and bartenders, unless you are a manager, you are not getting paid enough to deal with people like that. So go and get your manager. That is what they are there for. They are there to fix situations and help you out. They're there to help you and make sure the restaurant flows and everybody is happy. And sometimes situations can get out of your control. You do not have to deal with people like that. That is the only and the first time I have ever outwardly refused service to a guest. I've never physically told someone, I'm refusing to serve you today. So even though it was not a fun situation, it felt so good to stand up for myself and to not let somebody walk all over me. Because in the restaurant, I tend to just let people say what they need to say and just give them what they want at the end of the day. I feel like less of a person and less of a human being at the end of the day, and that's not something you should have to endure or feel or anything like that. Hopefully this opens your eyes to situations like that if you work in customer service or the restaurant industry. It can be a sticky situation and can be difficult to know when is the right time to refuse service. You will know deep down when the right time is. I also was debating whether or not I was going to make this video because I feel like I shouldn't waste time and waste a video talking about someone who isn't worth any more of my thoughts and time. Like, this lady was not nice. She was pretty awful and rude and disrespectful. My hope for this video is that, again, like I said, people in the service industry and restaurant industry learn something from this and stand up for themselves more. And hopefully people like this lady who have mindsets like that will go into situations and be a little bit more open-minded and respectful towards people in the industries. I really do hope that this opens a lot of people's eyes up. I hope that y'all enjoyed this story time sort of video. It's worth it in the end, doing videos like this when there is a lesson you can learn from it. So I hope that you did, and I hope that you guys are having a wonderful day, and hopefully I will see you all in my next video. Bye guys! I just want to keep talking. I feel like I want to talk about so many more things, but I need to save this all for another video. I need to keep making these videos and put them out. Just feeling so comfortable with the camera today. It feels so nice. All right, bye.